This program is brought to you by Canton Community Television. Now, from the television studios of Canton High School.
Welcome to the Dog Pound. I'm your host, Gabby. Today we have Ava Gilmore, who will talk about Canton girls soccer. Ava, thanks for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us how you felt after you got chosen as being an all-star your sophomore year.
Sophomore year, I was honestly surprised to get all-star. I wasn't expecting it. I played center back, and defense honestly doesn't really get noticed a lot. So when my coach told me that I was an all-star, I was expecting more of like the forwards to get it. But yeah, I was surprised, but I was really excited too.
Tell us what you did during this season to contribute to the team.
This season, I was a senior captain, and I felt like I felt more comfortable in my role. I was center back again this year, and I felt more comfortable in my role. Like, I felt more confident, like, talking to everyone. And I just felt like I kind of established, like, a role in the team, like I said. So basically, it's just kind of holding everyone else accountable and holding yourself accountable. And yeah.
Explain how you prepared before tryouts to make varsity for Canton girls soccer your freshman year, and how you're ready to put up with the high intensity and the high pace.
Freshman year, I was really, really nervous for tryouts. So I worked probably the hardest for preseason freshman year. My sister was also a part of the team. She was a senior when I was a freshman. So we kind of did it together. So a lot of the time we just like ran pretty much every day, like went to the field, play soccer every day. We got like lessons with like a coach and stuff, just like to get better. And I think that helped me a lot. And I was just like really motivated, and I was like, because I was really scared and I wanted to give myself the best possible chance. So yeah.
Describe your soccer season this year as a senior captain.
This year I would say the season went by really fast, like too fast, sad. But this is probably my favorite season because I don't know, I feel like the team was just like wicked close, and I think we had a really good run. Like we made it really far. Since my freshman year, we had a really good team, but since it was COVID, there was no playoffs or anything. So my sophomore year, junior year, and now it's my senior year, we got to go through playoffs. And like this year, I think we've made it the furthest. And yeah.
Tell us your favorite memories while playing with your older sister.
My favorite memory playing with my older sister would probably be like just getting ready for the season together, because I think we got really close during the soccer season. Just like you know, like you have a sister on the team, like going to practice every day and playing in games and just like being able to play on the same field, because I mean we're both younger sisters. Like you look up to your older sister and you like want to like be like as good as them and stuff. So getting to play on the same field as her, just like every game, was like awesome. But if I had to choose one, I would say probably like winning the Davenport division with her. But
describe what you did during the season during playoffs to contribute to the team.
during playoffs, I think myself and the other captains, we just focused on like we almost were like a little bit more tougher on the team, and we just like wanted to make sure that we all were on the same page of like understanding like what our goals were. And at times, I know some people like you thought we were a little bit too tough, but no, we're not mean. We just want what's best for the team, and I think it's just important. Like we had like conversations with everyone. We made sure that we were prepared. Like we watched film as a team and stuff. I remember like during the season, like we took notes on one of the teams. We went to practice early. But yeah, just like we tried to keep the chemistry, and yeah, the chemistry, and just making sure that we all know our roles and we're all like have a common goal, and we're going into the season to, you know, get the job done.
Explain your position in soccer and how it plays a role within the team.
So I play center back. So funny story, actually, like literally every single year that I've played soccer on the team, except for my freshman year, my coaches told me like I'm going to play midfield. But I've played center back like pretty much my whole life, so I'm most comfortable there. But my role as a center back is just pretty much to like, it's almost just like the cleanup. Like you just kind of pick up the scraps, I guess. and you're like the last line of defense, so everyone like is in front of you. So yeah, you're like the last line. You're right in front of the goalie. So if you mess up, then it's kind of game over.
Tell us what are some things you're like looking forward to like in college with soccer.
For college, I don't really know like what is gonna happen with that, but I'm just kind of seeing it out. I play club, so we'll see if like any opportunities arise that way. But I'm definitely not ready to like give up soccer completely. So in college, I'll probably play like club if I am not playing for a school's team, which is always like fun. It's like so good commitment, and yeah, and I just like I love like the environment of like a team, which is why I'm really sad to leave our team. But yeah.
Explain what are some challenges you've had to overcome in the past few years with soccer that you would like to resolve.
Some challenges, I would say, I know like our freshman year, since we had COVID, that was like a challenge. So that kind of resolved it in itself since COVID is gone. But like we got quarantined like twice during our season, so we couldn't practice. So we just like had to pretty much practice on our own. We didn't have like a coach there or anything. And then I would say like my sophomore and my junior year, I didn't really like know if I wanted to play anymore. Like I kind of like felt like I lost my passion for it. But like as I kind of like matured, I feel like I like found it again and like found the fun in soccer. So just like finding that has helped me like overcome the period where I was just not really so into soccer. And then that just kind of motivated me to like work harder and like keep practicing.
Explain your energy at the end of the season and like how you approached it.
The end of the season, I think like going into playoffs and just like wrapping up the season, knowing that it was gonna be like my last season ever playing on Canton High. I was just like kind of like I guess like dialed in. Like we just like wanted to kind of make it far, and we were just like wicked focused. And like I said, like we were like kind of hard on everyone, including ourselves, because we knew what we could accomplish. Because I think we were like a really good team. But yeah, we were just like wicked focused and like just like kind of giving everything our all and like playing every game like it's your last, because it honestly was like that. So yeah.
Tell us like one of your favorite memories from playoffs.
From playoffs, my favorite memory would probably be the Longmeadow game. So we showed up to Longmeadow on, when was that? That was the round of 16. Round of 16,
Yeah,
right?
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16. So you asked what my favorite memory was? Okay, that like whole day. So we got a coach bus because it was like 2 hours away. And, oh, that picture. And it was, yeah, so it was like 2 hours away. It was like a long drive, but like the bus was so fun. And then we got there and we got to their school. They had like a swimming pool. So we like had like a meeting in there and it was funny. And like Giselle was like messing around on the diving board. And then we show up to the field and like their team was just like not taking it serious. And we were all like wicked mad. We were like, they're taking this like a joke. Like they think they're just going to walk in here and win. Because we were then seed 19 and they were seed 3. So we were kind of like the underdogs. And the whole game, like, I feel like it was pretty defensive, I would say. Like, they were, like, scaring us, but they didn't have, like, great shots. So then finally, like, with a minute left, Emma Cahill, shout out Emma, Gabby assisted, actually. Gabby assisted Emma for, like, the winning goal. And that was just, like, we were all, like, wicked excited. Like, I was in awe. Like, I couldn't believe it. And then... And then Gabby started crying mid-game, so that was funny. And tears of joy, obviously. And then, yeah, the ride home, we, like, surprisingly, we weren't being wicked loud, like, listening to music and stuff, but we were all just, like, wiped out from the whole day because we, like, didn't really go to school either. We left at, like, 10 in the morning. But, yeah, it was fun. That was probably my favorite memory.
Tell us some things that you're looking forward to next year with soccer.
Next year. Next year, I don't really know, like, what the future, like, really holds, but, I'm just, like, kind of seeing, like, where things take me. Like, I'm doing club, just to see, like, how it goes. I have, like, tournaments, so I just had a Thanksgiving tournament, and then I have, a showcase in Tampa in January, and I think I have one in like New York in February. Probably like the same ones, but yeah. So just like seeing where that goes, seeing if there's any schools that I'm like wicked interested in that I could play soccer at, and if not, like I'll probably just play club because I want to go to like bigger schools, and like I'm not like obviously able to play at like a huge like state school because those are like really good Division I schools. So I would just like play club there or try out for the team. But yeah.
What are some things that you do before a game to prepare for it?
To prepare? Oh, so every game I have a pre-game banana. Bananas are a great source of energy to have before a game. It's nice carbs. Gives you energy. And then before every game, like we show up, we listen to music, get hype, and then we sometimes during home games we would like take the speaker, we'd go outside, and then we'd like bang on the door, come in, do like a little ritual, not a ritual, but like we would just like yell and like get hype, I guess. And our warm up too. Warm up was important. Like every game we listened to our warm up we like made it, but like Michaela Costello kind of made it. We said we contributed, but we never really got anything done. And before every game, like even away games, we just listen to the warm up. So yeah, that's pretty much.
What are some things that you did before Longmeadow to prepare on the coach bus?
On the coach bus, a lot of people were doing homework, but like I just could not focus on that. So Longmeadow, I just kind of like put my AirPods in and just like focus, listen to music. Just kind of like goofed around with everyone. It's like basically what we always do, just kind of goof around. Pre-game braids. It's important. All throughout playoffs, like we had to keep the same hairdo. Mine was like 2 braids into a ponytail, into a braid. Gabby's was yours 2 French braids? Gabby's was 2 French braids, always. Whenever Gabby would wear French braids, she's like always score, so turned into like a habit. But yeah, we kept the same hairdo every single playoff game, and yeah, our last game was not too great. We played Mansfield, and that was Elite 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played Mansfield. We actually tied them in the regular season, and then we showed up and lost 5-0, but it's okay. Explain
how you felt before the Mansfield game.
Mansfield, I was so nervous because, like, I don't know. I knew that we could win because we had tied them before, and we lost at home, and it was, like, literally they scored on, like, a free kick, I think, right? And we just, like, didn't play that great at the home game against Mansfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't play that great. And then we tied when we were there. And we should have won the game that we tied against them on their turf because it was, like, literally, like, 2 minutes left in the game. The ref called a corner kick when it should not have been. They scored, and it was a tie. So we were upset. But we did take the Davenport title away from them. So they had, like, kind of some – I knew they had that against us when we were going to playoffs. Like, they were going to use that. But I remember that my sophomore year, we lost to them and in playoffs. And we just, like, I didn't want it to happen again. So, yeah, just, like, kind of using that as, like, fuel to make us want to win. And I knew that we could. But I don't know. I think we just we didn't execute, I guess.
Tell us how you felt after winning the Davenport, like, your freshman year.
My freshman year. So I feel like I didn't, like, appreciate it as much because I was a freshman. Like, I didn't really understand the whole, like, Davenport, Kelly Rex, Hockamog thing. Also because it was COVID. Like, nothing was, like, really, like, I wasn't used to any of it because it was, like, my first year. I knew my sister had played in it, but I didn't know exactly what it meant. So I remember, like, a bunch of the seniors were like, this is, like, actually crazy. Like, this is so cool. We won. And I was just, like, I was wicked excited because we had won. And, like, right after the game, like, we all ran to, like, our goalie and we were just, like, celebrating. But I don't think I appreciated, like, how, like, hard it was to do that and how, like, talented we were as a team until, like, the next years because I realized that, like, it doesn't just, like, come. Like, you have to work for it. But, yeah. And that's been something that I've strived for, like, sophomore year, junior year, and senior year. But we didn't win since unfortunately. But yeah, it was really hard to do, and I'm happy that we did it. But I do wish that I like appreciated it a little bit more and like understood more like what we accomplished.
Thanks, Ava, for talking about your experiences with Canton Girls Soccer. For Canton Community Television, I'm Gabby Berardi. Thank you for watching.
Our crew today is Gabrielle Berardi, Dean Madden, Ivan Mapp, John Martinick, Paul Mellon, Brandon Morris, Joe Noon, Ciara Rodriguez, Jalen Usal, Giovanni Bastos, Jack Levis, Gavin Davis, Ryan Desmond, Anthony Galante, Ryan Hickey, Avery Leibowitz. This has been a Canton Community TV station production.
You're watching the Student Station on Canton Community Television.
This program is brought to you by Canton Community Television. Now from the television studios of Canton High School.
Welcome to the Dog Pound. I'm your host, Jalen Oisel, and today we have Emily Hales, who will talk a little bit about her experience as a Canton High cheerleader. Emily, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So we all know you're a cheerleader. When did you start?
So I started my freshman year. I joined the fall season. I had come off of dancing for a while, and I decided to join cheer.
What drew you to cheer? Was it just like the dance aspect?
So when I started that year, I really wanted to be part of a team at the high school. That was really important, like getting involved right away. And I figured that my dance background just sort of like would naturally transition in. But dancing drew to me at first, but there's like a lot of different aspects that I love about it now that aren't just dance.
Mm-hmm. What do you love about it specifically?
I think my favorite part is definitely like stunting. I love it. It's so much fun. It's such a different way to use your strength, and it looks really cool. Like that's the stuff that like the crowd loves.
Mm-hmm. And in stunting, you're a bass. So can you take us through what being a bass entails, like what you have to do?
So it's a lot of being a bass means being very like explosive. Just as far as like technique wise, like you're always like everything has to like explode up. There's no like going halfway. It's like all at once, and it's also very much like as a bass, your job is to like protect your flyer, like no matter what. So like getting under them if they're falling, like making sure that you're doing your job right so that the stunt will hit and that no one will get hurt.
Right. I feel like catching a flyer is so important.
It's so important.
Like
it's
in
so
practice,
important.
if we didn't catch someone, it was so bad. But can you compare and contrast flying versus basing? Which do you prefer?
Yeah. So I prefer basing. I did actually fly that first season that I did my freshman year. It went fine. It wasn't my strong suit. I love basing though. As a bass, it's more about like getting something there, I feel like, and then like the hardest part is getting the stunt to hit in the first place. And for me, I felt like flying, the hardest part was getting the stunt to like still stay up. Like it's so much balance, it's so much squeezing all your muscles. It's a very like active role where I feel like basing is more of the first thing is you get the stunt going, it happens, and then as long as it sticks, like you're usually good.
And did you find flying to be like more nerve-wracking? Because I found that when I was a flyer, like I liked being a bass more mentally because I feel like you're turned away from people, but when you're a flyer, you're looking out at the crowd. Like, how did you feel about that?
Flying was definitely more like, it made me a bit more nervous just because I also feel like people look to the flyer in the stunt, and if the stunt goes really well, people are going to be like, oh, wow, like, they're such a great flyer, and if it doesn't go well, it then looks like it's the flyer's fault. So that's part of the thing about the flying. It's rough. You either get all the glory or all the blame, even though the stunt, it's a group effort.
Exactly. And like group dynamics are really important. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think, like, I didn't really know how to phrase this, but what are some green flags and red flags between a stunt group? Like, how do you know, like, sometimes stunt groups just aren't the best or like compatible? Like, what are some things to look out for?
I don't know if there's ever a group that would necessarily, like, you need to, like, cancel it. It's red flags. Like, I think any stunt group can make an effort to become a good stunt group. I think it takes a lot of, like, communication, like, understanding what you need from your stunt group, understanding what your role is. And again, just having, like, empathy. Like, not everyone's going to have their best days. Sometimes you aren't mentally in it. Sometimes, you know, maybe you're even just physically exhausted and you can't perform as well as you normally do. And I think just building that communication, having trust, knowing that people are going to do their job. If the flyer comes down, that she's not going to hit the ground. I think, like, trust, communication, understanding, those are, like, huge parts of having a strong, like, stunt group that works well together.
Right. I feel like trust is, like, honestly the most important thing next to, like, physical strength and, like, coordination, because, like, you have to know that, like, the other people, like, have you, you know?
Right.
What do you think the hardest thing overall about cheer is?
That's a really good question. I think a lot of it, especially for me for competition, is that your entire season comes down as a competitive cheerleader to 2.5 minutes on the mat. Like, you can work for months and everything can go well at practice and you can be hitting everything. All your jumps can look amazing, your cheer can sound so good, your dance can be really sharp, and you could get to competition and, like, one thing happens and it's like the first 30 seconds into the routine, and that could change it enough that you don't advance. Even though you've put in all that work, it was one moment in a series of, like, 2.5 minutes. Like, it's just such a short amount of time that you have to put all your work into in order to, like, prove how successful your season was.
How have you learned to deal with that mentally? Like, if you mess up, like, how do you be less hard on yourself? And
you just kind of have to have like, I like to put it into perspective. I like talking to myself as though I was talking to, like, someone else. Like, that sounds weird, but, like, if one of my teammates came off the mat, I was like, I just ruined the whole thing. I like, tripped and I, like, ruined this whole, like, section of the routine. Like, I would never be like, oh yeah, you did, you suck. I would, like, support them because I wouldn't think that they messed up the whole thing. Like, I would understand. So I like to just have that level of understanding with myself. And I also just try to stay, like, present, like, in each moment. Like, if one section goes bad, I don't let it affect the next one. Because, you know, we'll transition from, like, we'll have a section that's, like, cheering and a section that's dancing, a section that's stunting. So if one of those sections doesn't go well, then I just, like, I forget it, I move on, I move to the next thing.
Right. So in addition to competition cheer, you do game day cheer.
Yes.
Can you compare game day cheer to competition cheer? Like, how is competition cheer harder? What do you do differently?
Competition, the most obvious difference is that it's a lot, the intensity level's, like, a lot more up there. Everything's fast-paced, everything's a lot more difficult. The people watching you also, like, really know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. So if we go to a game and we do one of the easiest stunts and it looks cool, people think that we're doing stuff that's, like, really cool. But when you go to a competition, the judges and, like, everyone else in the auditorium, like, not the auditorium, the gym, will know what it was supposed to be, how hard it is, what you could do better. So that's, like, a huge difference. And competition is just more, like, routine-based. It's, like, it's all about the routine, and game day is more, like, well-rounded about the whole cheer experience.
And what do practices look like during prep for competition?
Yeah, so it can look like a variety of things. Normally, it's breaking the routine into different parts, specifically the stunts. So we'll work for, like, the first couple weeks, we'll work on just getting skills for the routine. So if there's something that we want specifically to put in there, we'll, like, work on it with a couple weeks. We'll figure out what stunt groups work the best together. And then we start putting them into, like, sequences. So we'll combine them and, like, put them, like, in different orders and stuff, and we'll practice that. And then we usually dedicate about a week or two into creating a pyramid, because that takes everybody on the team working together.
How do you do a pyramid? Like, how do you walk us through that?
So it's it's a very different personally than stunting regularly, because when like a major difference is that like the flyers are bracing each other, so it's you either have like the weight of you have like a reduced weight of your flyer because the like if you're in the middle, because the two other flyers are like lifting up yours, or if you're in the middle, the two other flyers are putting all their weight into the middle in order to like gain their balance, be able to do like side skills, like actually that picture right there. It's you're holding the weight of like 3 people, and it's just super important that like you can't move when you're a base in a pyramid, otherwise it could like set the whole thing off balance. So even if like you know, it starts like to like you can't move your feet, and you also have to let go if someone's falling. If the flyers are connected, they have to, one of the first things we talk about is that the flyers have to let go of each other, because if like one of them starts falling and they like grab onto the people next to them for support, then like the whole thing will come down.
Yeah, that sounds really nerve-wracking, because
Yeah,
then you can't like adjust your hands either.
You can't, you just can't like step in or out of the stunt. But it's really fun because it allows you, by having like the support of other stunt groups helping you to do stunts,
Right.
it allows you to do much cooler things.
So it's more of like a team effort.
Yeah.
So can you tell us whether or not you think performing in front of a crowd can get into your head? Well, we actually kind of already talked about this, but strategies,
Yeah.
just any other strategies?
Right. So I think it depends on the person. A lot of people get freaked out by crowds, and it like affects like how they perform. And a lot of people like that's where they do best, when like the realness of the situation kicks in. 'Cause a lot of times it's like you're at practice and it's like, oh, like we're just in a gym, like this doesn't really mean anything, and then you get to the comp or to a game and there's the whole crowd there, there's like the loud music, and you're like, this is real, this is gonna hit. For me, it used to freak me out a lot, but I just like pretend. I like to remove myself from like the seriousness of it, and that's not to say that I'll like go do something like silly or crazy, but I like to separate myself from thinking about like the pressure of it all.
So what has cheer taught you?
Oh, it's taught me so much. I think a huge thing I learned is that everyone has individual strengths, and they're all really important. That sounds really cheesy, but so I was a dancer for about 12 years, and it's like there's almost like a few sets of like strong suits, and you either have them or you don't. But with cheer, it was some people are really good tumblers, some people are really good bases, and some people are really good flyers. And if everyone was a good flyer, then like you couldn't do anything. So it just taught me that there's like such a huge importance of everyone being good at different things.
What advice would you give for someone just starting cheer?
Someone who's just starting cheer. Building that culture and community with your team, I think, is the most important thing for cheer. So just really like building that connection with your teammates, because that's where that trust and stunting is going to come. That's where your support is going to come from. And the closer you are as a team, the more like effectively you can do your job, the more successful you're going to be. So just, I guess, like just get to know your team, build that relationship with them. Yeah.
Right. I feel like if there's resentment or something like between a team, it's just like everything feels off. Like at practice,
Right.
It just looks off.
Right.
Like it just doesn't work. And similar to that, what do you wish you had personally known before starting cheer, and why?
I wish I had known how different it would be than dance, and I wish I had known what competition actually looks like. Like a lot of the time, you just see like the game day stuff, but you never see like the comp side. So just I wish I had like, there's so much more to cheer than the average person sees. So I just kind of wish that I had like seen that beforehand.
So you're very passionate about cheer. You love it. Do you see cheer being in your future after you graduate?
I don't know. I've given it some thought. I probably won't continue with it like at a collegiate level, just because where I want to go with like my career and stuff, like it's being a student athlete in college, I think is like a lot. But in the future, like definitely getting involved with youth programs. I've been very involved in the youth programs here at Canton. So I could definitely see myself returning to those kinds of things once I'm older.
Would you ever want to coach and like be the next Parker?
Oh my goodness. Maybe not at a high school level, but I love coaching little kids with cheer.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see myself doing that like down the line.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Emily, for telling us about cheerleading at Canton High. For Canton Community TV, I'm Jalen Oysal. Thank you for watching.
Host, Jalen. Producer, Giovanni Bastos. Talent Wrangler, Jack Levis. Script Supervisor, Gavin Davis. Studio Display, Ryan Desmond. Announcer, Anthony Galante. Audio Technician, Ryan Hickey. Tech Director, Avery Leibowitz. Show Director, Gabriella Berardi. CG, Dean Madden. Set Photography, Ivan Mapp. Cabin Person, 1, John Martinick. Cam Person 2, Paul Mellon. Cam Person 3, Brandon Morris. PA and Sleep, Joe Noon. Floor Manager, Zaira.